Hello and welcome to another edition of Toys from the Attic. For today's episode, I thought we'd be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mutating foot soldier. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at this guy. Growing up, I never really read any of the original Ninja Turtle series comics, nor did I read any of the series produced by Archie Comics. Rather, like most others out there, I was introduced to the Turtles thanks to the 1980s animated series. In that series, Shredder had replaced all of his human warriors with mindless robotic automatons. From a technical aspect, this meant that he had an army that didn't require any food or need for sleep, essentially allowing them to work continuously on whatever project they were given. Visually, they were quite impressive, with their sheer numbers presenting overwhelming odds for any of their foes. However, from a practical side, and when it came to fighting the Turtles,
Check those dudes out! Haha! Show them some moves, Donatello!
yeah, I think that about says it all. However, production-wise, in regards to making the show, having robotic foot soldiers meant that the Turtles could dispatch or destroy large platoons of these guys without raising any moral issues, and allowed the show to circumvent some of the issues they had with censorship back in the day. No, they're not killing humans, they're killing robots. Yeah, robots, that's what they're doing. Back in 1993, towards the end of the original Turtles toy run, a Turtles Mutation line of toys were actually produced. Essentially, this line consisted of the four main turtles, whose main gimmick was the ability to transform them from their pre-mutated state into their mutant ninja forms. Eventually, the line was expanded to include some of the villains, like Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, and even one of the foot soldiers. Alright, so here we have the mutating foot soldier. Although, I'm not exactly sure why they would consider him mutating. He's a robot. They don't really actually mutate as far as they can transform or receive battle damage, which I actually consider this guy more of a battle damage foot soldier than anything else. But we'll get to that in a little bit. His design-wise looks very close to the cartoon. You can see they have the standard purple mask with the little foot insignia on here, the yellow eyes, the gray t-shirt with black forearm pads, as well as the blue pants with black leg coverings and purple footies. Now, there is a difference between him and the original foot soldier that we have here. I can have him right over here. You definitely see there's a height difference. Stand these guys both up together. Where the original foot soldiers were more hunched over and kind of gave this mindless drone feel, this guy definitely stands more upright. To me, he's the more menacing figure. I was able to track down a bunch of these guys, so I do have a nice little army. I always consider him the leader of their gang. You could also see here that they changed the coloring on the little forearm pads, where these ones are black and the original ones were blue, as well as you also have some little pads right here on the legs to, I guess, protect the hips, where these guys don't. And this black or gray shirt comes all the way down underneath, where it kind of stops here. This one definitely has a lot more sculpting in it, so kudos for that. But this guy is definitely the more modern figure and does look a lot menacing. Anyways, let's get to his actual technique, or the actual gimmick of him. That is transforming him or making him look more robotic. I'm going to start off with the arms. You just rotate his arms around. This gets a little bit tricky to reveal all that circuitry under there. So you can kind of see that it looks like he's getting damaged. You can have Raphael kind of be slashing at one of his arms or anything. Just move that over there. All right, there you go. Now, like I said also here, these pads are on his legs, but those serve a purpose because then you could pull his elbow pad or hip pads or leg pads down here, and you see more robotic circuitry on the side. Alright, so that's another way you could reveal more damage, or you could say that he's being upgraded and these things are starting to pop back into place. So either way, it's up to you, your imagination. Now, before we get to the head, there's this little flap right here on the chest. It's made of this nice, soft, rubbery plastic. I've always been afraid that this is going to fall off one day, and there's probably a lot of figures out there that are missing that piece because it is soft and rubbery and it could easily tear off if you play with it too much or take it in the pool like I've done with other figures and the chlorine just eats it alive. Anyways, we're just going to reveal this panel, you just pop open the chest, flip that part back, you just got to Make sure that gets put all the way back in there. And you have his robotic chest. Now that actually looks kind of gruesome and grim in there. You definitely see some little bits of piping in there for the rib cage, and you see a lot of the circuitry. So you could definitely pretend that his front torso has been taken apart. Now, back to the last part, which I'm kind of saving for last, is you just flip this around, and then you reveal this foot soldier head. Now, in my mind, that's a creepy face. That's kind of the stuff of nightmares right there. There's definitely a T-1000 feel in this. This is around the same time when Terminator came out, so I could definitely see some inspiration there. However, rather than having lips or anything, it just has this little grill right here for the mouth, which kind of fits in how you see how the original foot soldiers, they don't really have any lips right there. It's just that flat surface. But there's a lot of nice detailing on here, and man, is that I can't get over it. It's just probably the big red eyes that makes it look so grimacing and gruesome. And there you have it. You have a figure that actually looks like the Turtles have kind of ripped it off. And because the chest is also slightly different, you can have some nice little variations in here. You can have it to where maybe his mask was just ripped off and the rest of his chest is actually okay. So that's another little neat feature. It gives you kind of a few different display options or play options. You don't necessarily have to transform them all at once. But definitely seeing the circuitry underneath makes me feel that this isn't so much a mutation figure as more of a battle damaged foot soldier. And if you think about it from that aspect, it's very cool. Sadly, I don't have any of his weapons with me at the moment. Some of them broke over time, and some of them have just been lost. I got a big pile of these guys that I tried sorting through, but I just could not find it. Each mutation guy came with a little clear plastic ooze container, which was kind of neat and unique because a lot of the other figures didn't come with them until I think the second movie came out. Then figures started coming with the ooze. He also came with one of the standard poles with a red poles with a claw on it that it was painted red. If you've ever seen a review of this guy, which I eventually will get to one of him, it's pretty much the same weapons. He also, a lot of these guys came with mutating weapons, and he actually came with like a little container that would transform into a gun. I thought I knew where that was, but I apologize, I was not able to find it. I'll try to be better for that in the next reviews when it comes to other mutating figures and other turtles, but keep in mind, I used to play with these guys quite a bit, and because of that, taking them to other people's houses and stuff, there's a lot of weapons and stuff that have just been lost to the ages. But anyways, this has been a look at the mutating foot soldier. Once again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, please feel free to subscribe, like, or leave a comment below in the comment section. Any advice for the show will be greatly appreciated. Who knows, something you suggest may appear in the show in the future.